The current official visit of the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mr. Anwar Ibrahim, to Russia and the talks we had today clearly demonstrate that Russian-Malaysian relations are on the rise, are developing successfully and steadily, and both sides are sincerely interested in such interaction becoming even more meaningful and productive. There are all the necessary prerequisites for this. Russia and Malaysia are linked by long-standing traditions of friendship and mutual understanding. We have always strived and continue to strive to take into account each other's interests, work as partners, and build cooperation based on the principles of mutual respect and mutual benefit. It is in this vein that regular political contacts are maintained between our countries. Coordination is carried out through the Ministries of Foreign Affairs, sectoral ministries, security councils, and special services. Interparliamentary and interregional contacts are actively developing. I would like to note that the Prime Minister of Malaysia, Mr. Anwar Ibrahim, makes a significant personal contribution to the promotion of the Russian-Malaysian equal partnership and, above all, its economic dimension. Let me remind you that last year, as the main guest, he participated in the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok, and tomorrow he will travel to Tatarstan, where he will take part in the Kazan International Economic Forum Russia, Islamic World. Returning to our negotiations today, I would like to emphasize that we discussed the entire spectrum of current issues of bilateral cooperation, as well as pressing topics on the international agenda, and as a result, we outlined specific plans to strengthen Russian-Malaysian cooperation in the future. Priority attention was naturally given to the further development of trade and investment cooperation. According to the results of 2024, trade turnover between Russia and Malaysia exceeded $3.2 billion. The Intergovernmental Economic Commission is working rhythmically. It was agreed that its next meeting will be held in Malaysia in the fall. The key area of bilateral cooperation is energy. The Malaysian oil and gas concern Petronas is a shareholder of Rosneft, and Gazprom is developing partnerships with this company. Our country supplies significant volumes of oil products and coal to the Malaysian market, and we see prospects for implementing joint projects in the gas sector and in peaceful nuclear energy. A plant for the production of synthetic rubbers, built with the participation of the Russian side, is successfully operating in Malaysia. Within the framework of long-term contracts, imports of potash and nitrogen fertilizers from Russia for the needs of Malaysian agriculture have been established. Counter-supplies of agricultural products are growing, Russian grain and Malaysian food. Russian producers are interested in increasing exports to Malaysia of high-quality meat and dairy products, including those that meet the Islamic standard halal. Cooperation in the cultural and humanitarian sphere is dynamic and meaningful. Joint film festivals, photo exhibitions, and concerts of musical groups are regularly held. Russia helps Malaysia train qualified personnel. Currently, about 700 Malaysian citizens are receiving education in our country, including at the expense of the Russian government quota. There are more than 80 agreements on scientific educational cooperation and academic exchanges between the universities of the two countries. Diplomas of Russian universities are recognized by Malaysian employers without additional accreditation. In Malaysia, much attention is paid to the study of the Russian language. It is currently taught in courses at the Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology as part of a joint program with the Moscow Aviation Institute, as well as at the oldest and most prestigious university in the country, the University of Malaya. Tourist exchanges are developing, Malaysian resorts are becoming increasingly popular with Russians. The opening of direct air communication between our two countries is being worked out, which will certainly contribute to the expansion of business and humanitarian contacts. Discussion of regional and global issues demonstrated that the positions of Russia and Malaysia on them largely coincide or are close. Our countries firmly uphold the principles of the supremacy of international law, sovereignty, non-interference in internal affairs, and coordinate efforts at key multilateral venues, including the UN. Last year, during Russia's presidency of BRICS, a new category of partner states was established, and Malaysia, among other countries, received an invitation to join BRICS activities in this status. We are glad that our Malaysian friends accepted this invitation, and we will do everything we can to ensure that Malaysia quickly and organically joins the work of all BRICS partnership mechanisms. Issues related to promoting peaceful and sustainable development in the Asia-Pacific region were also examined in detail, taking into account that Malaysia is the current chair of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, ASEAN. Prospects for further development of a substantive dialogue between these international associations and Russia were also discussed. In conclusion, I would like to once again highly appreciate the results of our joint work today with Mr. Anwar Ibrahim. The program of the visit of the Prime Minister of Malaysia to Russia continues, and tomorrow, as I have already mentioned, he will visit the Republic of Tatarstan. I am convinced that the current, such a rich visit of Mr. Prime Minister will serve to strengthen the entire complex of Russian-Malaysian partnership for the benefit of the peoples of both our countries. Thank you for your attention.
I thank you, Mr. President of the Russian Federation, Mr. Putin. On behalf of our delegation, I would like to deeply thank you for the warm welcome in this great country with a great history, civilization, culture, art, which is fighting for people who believe in dignity, for independence. I have already said this, Mr. President. I admire the connections that we have, because I understand the history, the culture, and the enormous contribution in terms of literature and art. Ballet, which I have not been to because we have a very busy agenda. We had discussions this morning with you, with your team. We covered a very wide range of issues: education, food, security, technology, defense. This shows our commitment to expand our bilateral relations. This is true. As you said, Mr. President, our relations are very good, but there is potential for investment and cooperation, and we need to expand it further. That is why I decided to come to Vladivostok, as you mentioned, and now to Moscow and Kazan. Our joint commission, various committees, for example on oil and gas, must also ensure effective changes and take timely decisions. We also appreciate the growing support for various projects in the digital sphere, artificial intelligence, and the President and his team were very kind that they trusted us, our country, supported us in terms of development in the field of semiconductors. We really want to cooperate with the Russian Federation in this area. There were a number of other issues. We have taken a certain position on Malaysia, ASEAN. We will decide for ourselves what is best for Malaysia and its people. Therefore, we would like to establish cooperation, an alliance with the Russian Federation, to restore direct flights between our countries. We believe that this is possible. I thank you, Mr. President, for supporting us to become BRICS partner countries. China, Ethiopia, South Africa are our friends. We Malaysians admire and appreciate this very much. We also discussed a number of international issues, various multilateral issues, based on rules. We must move on the basis of this principle. We will not recognize unilateral actions of countries because this will disrupt peace and security in the regions and in our region. Mr. President, I want to assure you that Malaysia has great expectations, but we also have hope that we will have a special relationship with the Russian Federation, and this will happen through significant exchanges. On behalf of the Malaysian government and people, I would like to say that it would be the greatest gift to the Malaysian people if the Russian president could come to our country as soon as possible. For example, during the ASEAN summit in October. I can assure you that your presence in Malaysia will be a big breakthrough not only for Malaysia, but for the entire region. I believe that many people in the region have high expectations from your role, from your leadership. Thank you very much.
Dear Mr. Prime Minister, I would like to thank you for this visit. It was very productive. The work is not over for you yet, although you have been on your feet since early this morning. You met in the government, and here there was a large volume of mutual information and exchange of opinions. We have really developed very good, trusting, and friendly relations. Mr. Prime Minister said that he is interested in the history and culture of Russia. We value this very much. Just now, in the Street Andrews Hall, I was telling the Prime Minister about the Street Andrews Hall. There are 3 thrones there, and I asked Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Prime Minister, there are 3 thrones. One is for the Tsar, the second is for his wife, the Tsarina, and who do you think the 3rd throne is for? Mr. Prime Minister, almost without thinking, answered, for the 2nd wife. Laughter in the hall. Mr. Prime Minister will not be angry with me for telling such things. This is the answer of a true Muslim, a representative of Islamic culture. I must say that our traditional values may not coincide in some ways, but the exchange of information is always useful for both sides.
I have to answer. I have only one wife, but I feel that it was some kind of test from the president, some kind of trick. 3 thrones, do you see? I said, of course, this one on the right is for the wife, and on the other side is for the 2nd wife. But I realized that it was for the mother. Laughter.
The 2nd throne is for Mom. Information exchange is useful. Thanks a lot.